I want to talk to you guys also about how dangerous it is in Puerto Rico. So I didn't know this, but I picked up this guy and he told me, he said, I live in New York, and did you know that last year, because a lot of these tourists, they do research, about where they're going to take their vacation. And he said, did you know that last year there was over 500 murders in the island of Puerto Rico? I'm like, really? And he said that's more than the state of New York, where I'm from. I'm like, dang, I didn't know that. A lot of times, the news, they want to keep things hush hush because it's not good for business to bring tourists. Let's go ahead and go to Puerto Rico, because all the murders, so they kind of keep it hush hush. I picked up a lady yesterday, and Isla Verde, that's like a high, it's a nice neighborhood. A lot of tourists go there. Isla Verde, that's near San Juan. She said when she moved here, it's a Filipino lady. She said when she moved here about 4.5 years ago, she said that there was 3 cops that were murdered in Isla Verde. Now, for my, I kind of have like the boots on the ground. I'm over here doing Uber in San Juan, Carolina, and one of the things that I've learned, I did Uber in Los Angeles for 3 years, and I've been doing Uber here for about 3 years too. The difference is, you would never see in LA in the middle of the street like dead bodies. I saw probably about 5 dead bodies while just driving on the street. Somebody got his hitch blown off. You see like blood. That's like right in front of Condado, and sometimes it's not even related to gangs. A lot of it is just careless driving. I saw 2 dead bodies of people on a motorcycle. They were on their way to Piñones, and they took a they turned to they didn't slow down, so the road curved, and boom, they hit a tree and they both died. And another thing too, probably about 3 months ago in Isla Verde, there's 2 restaurants, and apparently they used to have a lot of drug activity. That's where they go, and that's the drug spot. And so what happens is, if there's another drug dealer like saying this is my spot, there's like they have beef because that's their business. So I heard there's like probably about 25 people got shot. There's a lot of tourists there. There's over 100 FBI, but you don't hear that in the news, but I hear about it because I'm picking up, these tourists are like, oh my gosh, did you hear what just happened? No, look, there's all these FBI. It's like, it's crazy. So that's the reason why the mayor shut down. Everything is closed after 2 a.m. Like, nothing is open in Puerto Rico, because of that. It's been slow. The only thing that's open is probably like some strip clubs. I know there's like hotels, there's like casinos, lounges, but other than that, everything after 2 is pretty much closed because of that reason. There's a lot of crime, a lot of drug activity, but you don't hear about it. So like, Puerto Rico is safe, but you can be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like one time I was doing Uber, and I went to a Caserío, which is like the projects, and 3 people pointed their guns at me, because they didn't recognize my car. And then the rule is, when you go to Caserío, you gotta turn on the lights and then roll down the window. And then I picked up the guy. He's like, yeah, they didn't want to shoot you because they said that you look like one of their uncles. I'm like, huh. Thank God for that, right? So is Puerto Rico safe? Yes, it's safe, but just like anywhere, you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, I don't know if you guys heard about that New Yorker who got shot. He was in La Perla. He went to go see Bad Bunny in concert. I've been into the worst neighborhoods, and I picked up abuelos, like old people. They're like, no, it's safe. I said, that's not what I hear. If you associate with bad company, you'll be exposed to bad company, So, yeah. So, just my epiphanies.